Okay, welcome back. Day 358. I know how math works. My hair is ridiculous. So we're going to ignore my ridiculous hair. It's way too long. It's falling in on itself. It's too heavy. I couldn't use my phone for the most of the day, which is fine. I'm not addicted. I'm not. But I like to use my phone, look things up, figure things out, internet. So anyways, I wanted to look something up, but I was using my phone to prop up some of my charging cords. And I go to get my cell phone, and if I did that, it would have moved the cords. I was about to grab the cords to move them so they don't fall. And as I did that, I realized that there was not that big, but like this big of a bug, and he had a little curled up little butt, and he was just cleaning his little face. And I was like, oh, okay. But it was such a funny thing. So I was like, oh. So I didn't want to bother him. So I thought he was going to walk away. But he just didn't for such a long time until I put something else on top of the cables to grab my phone. I was like, what is it? Indiana Jones. Like the rock or the bag of sand in replace of the treasure. Did that ever actually work? Not like could it. No, I'm saying did it. Like in those movies that did that. Did it ever actually work? Because I've only ever seen it trigger an event. Like exclusively trigger an event. Sorry, my eyebrow's itchy. Now I'm thinking about Full House, that one episode where she's like really missing Steve, and DJ's missing Steve, and they go to Disneyland, and then they saw the Indiana Jones thing. But then I was like, is Indiana Jones Disney? And now I'm stuck on that. I love that I have a tab up that says, what is it called? A buttercup, right? A buttercup flower thing. But it was perfectly just a butt. And I'm just like, when you're 12 and you want to find that, and you just look up butt. Anyways, right before I started this, my cat got up and started staring at me, so I wonder what he's up to. Cute. We got a pickup order, and they accidentally gave us somebody else's order. Well, one bag of their order for food, and it was so sad because it was their ice cream. So now we got ice cream, so that's yay. Boo. Somebody else didn't get their ice cream, and that sucks, man. That just sucks. So we have it now. We have the ice cream. It was already open before I got down here. So that is not on me. But I did eat some of that ice cream. I didn't know it was already open, okay? My hair is far too long. I was pulling my hair up and putting it up in like a little bun, like ponytail. And my sister's like, ooh, yeah, we really need to cut that. I'm like, yeah, we do. And then I tried changing out the shower head in my shower because it's blah, 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 blah. Can't take it off. Cannot take off the shower head to save my life. I tried a lot of things, but it just did not work. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do with everything, but here we are. I had a panic this morning, because I was like, I never got a call back from my doctor about my testosterone shot. And then I realized, wait, that's a week from now, so it's all good. So I need to do stuff tomorrow. Yay. So I need to get up early and do all that. But I did get on Animal Crossing because new update, and I put in 100,000 bells for Leaf so I can start doing cooking. And I was like, oh, I gotta change up my whole kitchen, blah blah. Apparently, no, you don't. Any cookware is now a cookable object, so I do not need to change anything. But I kind of want to now because there's no pressure. So I want to fix change it all up, but I don't know how. I think anything I don't go, yay, I'm walking through this area, I want it gone. Gone. The question is how, where, when, how, what, how, what. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. And I think it was last month I was missing my last fish, or second to last or something, fish, and then a bug, and I only have like a few more bugs left too. All were last month, or maybe it was 2 fish and 1 bug, I don't know, but they were all last month, so like 6 days ago, and I was like, oh, I don't even have a turnip price. It was like 56 bells, so I'm like, well, even if it's worse tomorrow, it is what it is. So I gotta play tomorrow, which is just fun. So I've been playing, and I went on another island hop with Cap'n because I was like, can you get the carrots and the potatoes and the tomatoes and I have pumpkins, but all that, can you get that from an island travel? And some people say yes, some people say no, some people say only these, some people say only this. I didn't get it, so I'm like, cool, I'm not going to go to another island. But I talked to Blathers, so I'm hoping I get that cafe, because that would be fun. The thing is, I have 2. I was like, what 2 styles do I say it is that I have in between what I dress as? But my 2 styles, I either go full on, like punk, piercings, and then go very flick. I don't have red plaid pants, but I do actually have purple plaid pants. So I'm like, oh yeah. And then you go the other way, and I look like CJ. And that's it. That's what my two looks. I don't think I dress like any of the other people that show up on the island, like, ever. But no, I dress like those 2 guys, and that's it. It's very funny. Anyways, what else is there? I don't think anything else is going on. Besides my hair is full on ridiculous. So yeah, mainly I just played Animal Crossing. Also, my cat so we have a cat that I stole from outside because he was a stray. And you're like, why did you do that? Well, he was so cuddly and meowing that I knew he had an owner and ran away and then got sick. So outside, he bit my boob. I had long hair, and he likes biting hair and playing with hair. But when he was doing that, he kind of softly bit my chest, and I was like, that's not nice. And then we learned he had a bunch of worms, so one fear. But anyways, so what happened is I was outside, and we had a little bit of cat food, and I put the plate on the other side of the garage, and usually they don't eat when I'm actually there, but this guy, he just started nom 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 eating this food, right? I was like, oh, so I'm on the stairs at the back end of the garage, and he's out so he can run away. And he's all like, I want more food. I'm like, dang boy, you had a whole plate. And he's like, more food. So he came up to me and he started eating the food I'm pouring right at my feet. He's eating it, and I don't want, because I'm allergic to outside and cats, by the way. He goes and he headbutts my hand, and he wants pets, and he is purring so loud, like you can tell he's really working on this purr being so loud, and he eats the whole bag of food that I have left. Like, again, it wasn't a lot, but like way more that I'm like, your stomach probably hurts from eating so much. But you can see he was very skinny, and it was not great. So what happened is, he wants to get cuddled, so I'm putting my hand out, so he's hitting my hand instead of my face and my chest, and trying to keep him off of my outfit, like my outfit, my sleepwear, because it was in the middle of the night, like 3 in the morning, like it is now. So anyways, so I'm trying to keep him off my outfit, and so he's rubbing against my hand, and my hand starts getting hives. Okay, my cat wanted out. So anyways, so he I was just putting my hand out against him, and he was headbutting it and all that. Oh, he was headbutting it and everything, and then I realized that my hand was getting hives, so he must have rolled in something I was allergic to, and my knuckles and my fingers were just turning red, and I was like, oh boy. And then I'm like, okay, well, we can't, what should we do? What should we do? So I ran upstairs. I'm like, okay, this was 7 years ago, question mark? Yeah, I guess 7 years ago. So I ran upstairs, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And my mom was like, give it food, keep it outside. And I'm like, no. She's like, no, just keep it outside. And I was like, no. You did get what I did. So I'm like, okay, we have no food. So I think I told this story probably a bunch, but I absolutely love my cat, okay? Don't tell him. He licks people now because he thinks he's a dog. And by thinks he's a dog, I mean he's like, oh, this is a dog family. So he now tries to be like a dog and do as the dogs do. Like, oh, the dogs kiss, like will lick, because my dog will do the same thing where he's like, oh, affection, lick. So the cat will just walk up to my leg and just, with his little cat tongue, just lick my leg, and I'm just like, oh. But the problem is he does that with me. Like, if I put my foot up on him, he's like, oh, yes. I'm like, no, stop licking me. It's just very funny to me. So, yeah, it's just affectionate. It's just very funny. I know it's not like a bad thing, but anyway. So, what happened is I was outside, and then I'm just like, let me open the door, and I let the dog or the cat walk inside. He fully walks in by himself, fully walks in, and I'm like, you could just close the door behind him. And my sister's like, no. And I'm like, but we could. And my sister's like, no, where are you gonna put him? I'm like, but we could, and we could get him checked out. So what happened is he walked in, and then he walked back out, and then he walked back in, even after he thought I was gonna trap him inside, which I was. And then now the dogs kind of get a little, they're like, oh, what's going on? And surprisingly, they were uninterested until now. And we hadn't anything locked off or anything. So what happened is now they're intrigued, and my door to this area was closed, but there's a second door to go around it and pop my shoulder out to go around it. So what happened is my sister opened the doors, and as I was walking around, because now they're all intrigued over here when I walked around, so anyways, I'm holding this cat because I'm like, I'm just gonna have to pick him up. So I pick him up, and he was fine with it. He was kind of like, no, don't. But he didn't do anything about it, which was funny because after he got his strength back, he was a very biting cat. Like, he used to bite you. He's like, no, we're supposed to cuddle now. And we're like, no cuddles. And he will just bite you. He'd stop doing that, by the way. He's a very good boy now. He learned how to use his words to tell us what he wants. And by words, I mean not bite us. And figure out each other a little bit more. Anyway, so I walked around and just picked him up and walked around, put him on my room. He instantly jumped on my bed. I'm like, okay, you gave me hives? And he's like, yeah. And then he either was trying to poo on my bed or he was going to hump the blanket. But either way, I didn't like it. So I threw him into my mom's bathroom, and my mom was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I might have kept the cat. And she's like, didn't I tell you to leave him out? I'm like, oh, yes. And she hated me for it for a good while. She was like, we're not keeping this cat. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm allergic to it. Anyways, that was 7 years ago. We went, put posters in real life places. We posted online multiple places. We checked in for a chip. We checked to make sure he was fixed. Dewormed him twice. One was free, thank God, because they're like, it's industrial strength, and we're like, he still has worms, and they're like, but if you see he has worms, that's way too far gone. Like, he has a lot of worms, but we already dewormed him. I'm like, mm-hmm. And they're like, no, and I'm like, yes. And they didn't believe us, so we had to take a picture of the worms that was on the floor. It was not good. He was very sick. And then we couldn't give him to the pound because he had a cat illness that he needed to take meds for a few months, question mark. So we had to force feed him pills. But now every single year when we bring him back, because we couldn't get rid of him, the pound would have put him down. I think maybe after the pills, but he was still supposed to was diagnosed to be getting sick more frequently than normal cat because he has this illness. So they said they could not adopt him out. They would have to put him down. So we're like, we can't do that. So I don't know if they would have after the pills, but then I think they still said he probably wouldn't have got adopted. So we're like, oh God, we have to keep this. So we kept the cat. And every time we take him back to the vet, they're like, this is the cat from 7 years ago. We're like, yes. The one that was already probably 5 to 7 years old. And we're like, yes. Still here. And I'm like, yeah. And so he could be anywhere from, 12 to 14 years old, they estimate. And they always are surprised that he's still alive every single time. They're like, oh, he's not dead? And we're like, no, he is alive. He's doing alive and well. So yeah. What a disaster of a cat. Love him though. Love him. Very loud cat. Love it though.